Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. April 24, 2019, the Little Fish edition. First up, in a stunning development, the Department of Justice has brought suit against a pharmaceutical distributor directly for its role in the opioid crisis. Rochester Drug Cooperative took a deferred prosecution agreement this week, and the Department of Justice brought individual criminal actions against a former chief executive of the company and a former executive at the company who pled guilty and is cooperating. The former chief executive, one Lawrence Dowd III, has claimed that he's being framed by others in the company to take the blame. Next up, in a very interesting article which really sheds insight in how the rest of the world views FCPA enforcement, Lloyd Green, writing in the AsiaTimes, asked the provocative question, has Trump's Justice Department become Obama's simply because of the robust enforcement against non-U.S. companies by U.S. Department of Justice? His argument is that the increased FCPA enforcement really demonstrates an antithesis of both Trump and the leaders of the Department of Justice. Obviously, he hasn't heard Rod Rosenstein or Brian Brinkowski talk, so you have to discount it a little bit but I think the important part is that this is how the rest of the world views FCPA enforcement. Very interesting. Next up, Walmart investigates Flipkart's compliance lapses and bribes paid to government officials. In one of the major developments, the U.S. e-commerce firm Walmart has reportedly began an internal probe to look into Flipkart's regulatory and compliance lapses while setting up fulfillment centers in India. The development is taking place after Walmart came to know that Flipkart did not have the requisite licenses to do business in India. Certainly a black eye on Walmart, but probably an even bigger black eye on Flipkart. And finally, once again proving that when Ohio State engages in NCAA recruiting violations, Western Kentucky is sanctioned. The latest corruption case to go to trial in the NCAA scandal is two of the small, low-level operators, a would-be agent, Kristen Dawkins, and a shoe company consultant, Merle Code Jr. There yet been any head coaches prosecuted, and it brings up the old Jerry Cartanian quip that the NCAA is so mad at UCLA, they're going to put Cal State Northridge on probation. So you have to wonder, at what point will the government start going after the direct head coaches? It was interesting to note that LSU reinstated their head coach after an appropriate investigation. We've had assistant coaches who have pled guilty, but no head coaches. So not the big players, and we can only hope that the NCAA is not too big to jail. As you may know, we've had several new offerings on the Compliance Podcast Network. One of those includes Popcorn and Compliance, where Jay Rosen and I take a look at compliance through the lens of movies, both current, contemporary movies, and classic movies. We recently premiered two new shows on the Compliance Podcast Network in modern medium. Paris Fox takes a look at how you go through the process of designing art and why it's so important for the compliance practitioner to utilize these skills in their communications with their employees. In Forensically Speaking, Jonathan Marks helps you understand the forensic side of compliance.